Hetapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh my Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the secret to having a magical life. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, I do have free ebooks that go into my spiritual teachings a bit deeper. You can just scroll down below, click on the links, and download those ebooks right away. There's no cost. Now, if you're interested in going further down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos on how to meditate, how to communicate with the ancestors, how to astral travel, how to work with the oracles, divination, how to do self-hypnosis, and so much more. Again, you can cancel at any time. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So Haru Nefer, how are you doing? So I want to talk about a very, very important secret here. And that is an understanding of why your magic works and why it doesn't work. And I often listen to the philosophy of Bruce Lee, and many times he's right on point, which not just explaining about his martial art, Jeet Kune Do, or just Chinese philosophy in general, but he's on point about explaining a lot of things that can be applied to our mundane lives. And this is because a lot of his philosophy comes out of the Tao, which is, is the way. And we find much of the Tao contained in a great Chinese oracle book known as the I-ching. And the I-ching is a wealth of knowledge. And it's a Chinese oracle that was derived from tortoise shells. And from that, they got the 64 hexagrams. So if you are interested in learning more, I say you become a Patreon supporter where I give you I-ching lessons. But it's a fantastic oracle that's not so much predictive in terms of predicting outcomes, but it's more about spiritual advice to elevate your life. Remember, the Chinese were very much into the whole Tao, the way. In fact, the I-ching means the book of changes. So you must understand that you're going to get a high level of spiritual advice, and not so much, will it rain tomorrow? Will I get that promotion at work? Will I get that job? It can reveal those things to you, but it's more interested in giving you some spiritual lessons to live by, which we greatly need. You see, we're living in a Sahu society. A Sahu is the animal spirit, and everything is dictated by our emotions. We allow our emotions to control us in life, to go here, do that. And that is not what you should be doing. I was watching this young woman's YouTube channel, and she had said something that really, really disturbed me. And she's supposed to be a spiritualist and all this. And she's talking about how certain people, when they go on their spiritual journey and they ascend, they miss certain things from the mundane world, and they may choose to go back. And I'm like, no, that is not correct. That means that you have not spiritually ascended if you're missing things. No one who spiritually ascends misses Sahu life. You understand? In fact, it is talked about in the I-ching in many great scriptures that peace, fulfillment, and happiness is only for the sage. So what that means is when you transcend your lowly nature, you no longer are a slave to your emotions, and you're at a place of nirvana, a place of peace, and you want to remain there forever. You don't miss anything. So that's just something I thought we need to clarify on that, because I think she totally got that wrong. And many people get caught up in the intellectual masturbation, meaning they read, and regurgitate. You must understand that a lot of times when I'm working with individuals, the question that I ask is, how many times do you meditate? How many rituals have you performed? Because I'm more interested in the application than the acquisition of just your book knowledge. Your book knowledge is good. You should read, you should learn. But if you're not actively experimenting and working with rituals and summoning spirits and astral projecting, then you're not really doing the work. And remember, the work should always be focused on spiritually elevating yourself. That has to be the focus. I think Aleister Crowley was so much focused on the gratification of the sensual pleasures, he forgot what spirituality really was about, and the use of magic, which is alchemy, to bring something from a lower state to a higher state. So let's just get that straight. We must understand that the goal of what we're doing is to bring you to a higher level of not just knowledge, but of spiritual essence, spirituality. All right. So I want to get into this secret to having a magical life. But before I do so, I want you to take notes, because this is going to be some important stuff that is going to answer a lot of questions that many of you may have. It is going to be mind-rocking information. And I want you to understand this. And I'm bringing Bruce Lee up for a specific reason, because he was a master of his art. And he knew the right way to go. So let me explain. If those of you who haven't purchased the Waters of None, they're great. I'm drinking wealth. This is my waters. If you want to try it out, go to watersofnone.com. It's water that has been energized, or water holds memory. So we charge the water with specific mantras. So you should check it out. Go to watersofnone.com. In fact, let me type that in here. So you have it as a reference, watersofnone.com. Watersofnone.com, it's here. Okay. And it is delicious water. The thing that really was extraordinary about Bruce Lee is that he practiced every day, and he pushed himself to the limit. And that made him a really, really good martial artist. So every time he would meet somebody, say, for example, Chuck Norris, they wouldn't just talk about their movies or their egos. They would be like, Bruce Lee, hey, Chuck, let's go work out. And they'd work out for 8 hours. You understand? These were men who were dedicated to their art form, and they pushed themselves to be the very best, okay? When I wanted to study martial arts, I was reading a lot of magazines, and I came across one guy who was known as the best in his field. And it was a Japanese martial art. And he, at the time, was accepting what we call as ushideshis, that's live-in students. So I got on the plane, went up to see him and asked to be an uchideshi, and was given that honor and studied with him for 3 years, day and night. It was tough. It was tough, broke many bones and things of that nature, but that's how dedicated I was. Now, a friend and I went out to do some testing work, meaning we were working on our magic. And there was a girl standing there, so I told him to go talk to the girl. He was like, no, I don't know if she's gonna really like me and nothing like that. So I said, we did a reading before we left, and the reading said that things would work out, so you can trust and believe in the reading. So he went up and spoke to her, and everything went, a very pleasant interaction, And he came back to me, and he was like, wow, she was really, really friendly, and she, really liked and thought I was funny and all that. So I looked at him and I bitch slapped him. And now hang on to that. I want you to hold on to that idea. Next, I'm with a friend of mine, and she is playing these games, right? So she's playing a game, and she won. And she won big. And she looked at me, and I was holding a cup of water at the time. And she says, wow, I never win. I mean, she goes, I never win. So I looked at her and I threw the water in her face, and that messed her makeup up and everything. And she was really upset. Now I'm going to tell you why I did these things. When a person is in a trance state, and it's a negative trance state, you have to do what we call this break state. By slapping someone, you take them out of their current state, their current emotional pattern. By throwing water in somebody's face, you take them out of that state. And this is common when we have victims of trauma and they're recanting or recalling the traumatic event. You've got to get them out that state, or else it'll be very, very detrimental to them because they're reliving the trauma. And you don't want to keep them in that state. So that's a common tactic we use. So the first gentleman who I slapped, and after I slapped him, I said this, and also the slap serves as a way of opening the psyche to the subconscious mind so you can implant post-hypnotic suggestions. So I looked at him and I said, no, women always have great reactions to you. This is common for you. Now, the woman who I threw the water in the face, it wasn't much, a little bit of water. And I said, no, this is common for you. You always win. Now, I want you to understand something, the difference between a belief and an idea. You see, a belief is an idea empowered with emotions. And a belief is hardwired into you to where you don't have to consciously think about a belief. It's always there looming in the background in your subconscious mind. But the idea will come to mind all the time. You have ideas. You see, thoughts are transferable. I can transfer a thought into the ether and it comes and you pick it up because you're a receiver. You're not responsible for those thoughts because they're always out there. But the minute you take the thought in and play out a scenario, then you become responsible for it. You understand? Thoughts can be picked up from energy that's on a rock, on a doorway, on a building, on a street light. Now, the thing about magic and the secret to magic is this. You see, those in the occult community, New Age community, will give you an affirmation. And that affirmation, they want you to continue to repeat. You understand? And the repetition is what they're hoping will then seep into the subconscious mind and stay there. The secret to magic lies in the I-ching, which I believe is a magical document, is a magical book, because it's trying to give you the secret to magic. And that secret to magic lies in the 48th hexagram and the 50th hexagram. So it's 2 hexagrams and 50. All right. The 40th hexagram is the well. And the well, the water in the well is a symbol of the subconscious mind. So the 40th hexagram is talking about how deep you need to go into the well. The well is your subconscious mind. The ancient people of antiquity saw water as the spirit, the subconsciousness. And to implant something in your subconsciousness, you have to go deep within the well. You understand? Now we come to the cauldron, which is the 50th hexagram. And the 50th hexagram talks about whatever is in the cauldron is who you are and what you will experience. And if you want a good life, you first must empty the cauldron and then refill it. You understand? The cauldron is what is the ideas, the belief systems, and everything that's trapped in your subconscious mind. And you can call it your psyche, you can call it whatever. But I want you to understand this. Pay attention closely. When you are chanting those affirmations, those mantras, you are trying to go deep into the well, to implant it and deep into the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is an ecosystem full of ideas. Some are contradicting each other. fighting against each other, and they must be in alignment and in agreement for one another, with one another, for the energy systems to flow to manifest great things in your life. But that's not the point of what I'm talking about. You see, I can give you an idea. You are wealthy. You are wealthy. That's an affirmation, actually. And you can empower that with emotion and feel good about it and look at luxury cars like a Lexus and get you all hyped. But unless it goes deep into the well, deep into the subconscious mind, it will do nothing to change your life. And this is where the cauldron is. What's already in the cauldron? What's already in your subconscious mind? Do you have a belief that you never win at games? Do you have a belief that when you talk to friends, they don't like you, or people, women don't like you, men don't like you? So what I'm saying to you is there is the hardware and there's the software. You understand? The idea is kind of like this, the affirmation is kind of like the software, and the hardware is the belief system. So if you want to manifest things in your life on a consistent basis, or if you want a life that's magical and things synchronicity through synchronicity happen to you and unfold before your eyes all the time. Let me explain something, and you may not realize this. You following me, Jason? There are people who are money magnets. They just make money. They play the stock market. They make money. They play the races, the horses. They make money. They get in real estate. They make money. I had a friend who started businesses like an internet business, a real estate business. He made money in all of them. Now, part of that is something you've done in the past life. Not necessarily a good thing, but something you've done where you've acquired certain business acumen that have set you up for this life to do well. But another part of that is the hardware is there that allows them to be wealthy. Because in the back of their mind, though they're not even thinking about it, they have the idea that they just make money. It's easy for them. They're money magnets. Now, again, this is not a conscious process. They don't consciously think that way, but it's a subconscious thing. It's through nurturing. Their parents have brought them up. Maybe the parents have spoiled them and told them that they are masters of the universe. There's nothing they can't do. Whereas you or I, our parents have told us, no, 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 no. You've heard that word so much. Limitation, limitation, parameters, parameters, parameters. So when you try to do something, you can't accomplish it, even though in your mind you may be reciting affirmations saying, I'm wealthy, I can do this, I can do this. And that is because the affirmation, the truism that you're reciting, must be recited enough to seep into the subconscious mind and become part of the hardware, the hardcore wiring, to where it becomes a dominant belief that's not contradicted by any other beliefs in the subconscious ecosystem. Do you follow me? So when my friend was saying that women don't usually react to him that way, I was trying to get him to understand that you have to adapt a new belief system that says, no, they do. They react favorably to me, and it's a common thing. But in order for that to happen to him, he is going to have to go into meditations a number of times. You see, when Bruce Lee was working out, he was training his body to automatically respond in a fight situation. He was not training his body so that his conscious mind would understand the technique. See, if you're in a fight situation, a fight or flight situation, and you have to think, you're dead. So Bruce Lee was training his body to automatically respond in a fight situation. And the same thing is what you must do. You must train the subconscious mind to have that belief system come up with the idea automatically without you thinking about it. Do you understand? The mere fact that you think about it shows that it's not a belief system. It's not dominant. Therefore, it won't manifest. Therefore, you hear people say, well, I put the vision board together, I cited the affirmation, nothing happened, because you have not done it enough to where it has seeped into the subconscious mind and become part of the default programming within you, become a real core belief system. Can you imagine if Bruce Lee were attacked and he had to think of a technique? Oh, wait, let me do Jeet Kune Do, technique 29. He will get killed. But he has trained so long that he doesn't have to think. His body just responds. That's why he says, be water, my friend. Be water. Go with the flow. Allow yourself to just react naturally to the situation. And many of you have not accomplished that with your magical work. You think too much. I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy. I want to manifest this. I want to manifest this. I want to manifest that. If you have to do that, then it's not part of your belief system, because your belief system should be saying, I automatically attract money. I attract wealth. I attract a house. I automatically attract cars. I'm good with getting things for free. And some of you, and you must understand this, attracting the opposite sex is not a matter of physical appearance. It's a matter of the energy you give off. So some of you think, because you've been trained by Western society, because you look away a certain way, which is not in accordance with European standards, that you can't attract somebody. You can attract anybody you want if you believe you're attractive. So here's a good question here. So when someone attacks or bullies me, can I defend myself without feeling I'm lowering my vibration? You must understand how magic works. You understand? That's an incorrect belief system right then and there. Because the idea you've implanted is that you can be bullied. So you must accept the fact and say, you know, people love me. I'm accepted. I'm never bullied. So that situation will never manifest in the first place. That's how magic works. You're looking never to manifest a situation. This is why Ma'at is abundance, because Ma'at is consistency. You are consistent in the way that you act and think. If my life is full of abundance and my belief system is in alignment with that, there's no room for the idea of poverty. There's no room for it, because my default belief system is always of abundance. That's all I think about. I'm abundant. I always get things. I always make money. I'm a master of the universe. There's no room for poverty, bankruptcy, unemployment. There's no room for that. But if you accept the idea, because society has trained us to think that way, it'll be easy for you to manifest that. So you must not even embrace that idea. You must make your default program, your default belief system, one of everyone embraces me and loves me. I have friends. I'm never bullied. I'm the center of attention. Think about that for a second. Think about that. You've got to go through life with a certain lens on, with a certain way of perceiving things. Do you wake up in the morning and become afraid of an asteroid hitting the planet, causing the zombie apocalypse? No, you never think about that. So why would it manifest? It won't, because the masses of people don't think about that. So why do you wake up and you think about certain things? Poverty, deprivation, bullying? No. Don't allow those thoughts to enter your mind. If you want to be social and have a great social circle of maybe wealthy people, then it's not going to be enough for you to tell yourself that I know wealthy people. I have a great social circle. You've got to keep repeating it or do it through meditation until it becomes a dominant belief system. And what I mean by dominant belief system is something you don't consciously think about. It's just there in the back of your mind. This is the process when you do a ritual or you recite affirmations and then you let it go. The reason you're letting it go is to let it seep into the subconscious mind. If you're constantly thinking about it, it never has time to go into the subconscious mind. You understand? That's why it's important for you to start thinking a certain way. Do you notice how, and it's not just to be cocky, they're using magic. They are using magic. You notice how Muhammad Ali, I'm so pretty, I'm the best, I'm the best. And when he's saying that, it's becoming part of his default programming, his default belief system to where he becomes the best. And Bruce Lee is the same thing. The cockiness, talking about how Jeet Kune Do is the best martial arts out there. It's not for a bravado, not being bombastic. He is trying to program his subconscious mind, his belief system. And eventually it sticks. So do you understand what I'm saying? Your goal is to transfer the ideas, the thought processes to the subconscious mind to where it doesn't become a thought. It's an afterthought. It's just there. It's looming. And that's when it will do its magic. So stop trying to consciously will something into being. Stop consciously trying to manifest something and let it be how you just naturally are and think, and let the energy vibrate strongly enough to it attracts these things to you, or you vibrationally shift to an alternate reality to where you can interact with that thing. That's the secret. That's the secret. It's that simple. But we're trying to will it. You see, when I'm with people and I perform magic in front of them and they see it, the only way I'm able to perform the magic and have them visually see it is if I have freedom from outcome, meaning I don't care if it happens or not. Because the act of not caring if it happens or not means that it's really now in the subconscious mind. However, if I get stressed out and said, oh, I got to prove to this guy that my magic works, I got to prove it, it's still in my conscious mind, so therefore it's not going to work. It's not going to appear. But if I'm like, whatever, then it happens. It happens. It just comes up. And people are shocked. Wow. And that's the way you've got to be. You've got to work hard to reprogram your belief system, then let it go and just let it happen. And have that be a part of who you are. You got to say, what's that term? Winning. But you got to more than say it. You've got to believe it to your core. Winning. I win. But there's a difference, though, and you must understand this, between hoping, praying, and actually believing. There's a big difference. The belief is empowered, is an idea empowered with an emotion, which is part of your hardcore wiring. The idea is just something you tag or you jump onto. Ideas come and go. Some ideas manifest, most don't. But the belief systems that you have in you, the current ones, are programmed there by society and your family. And they're mainly detrimental to you. So you've got to change that. This is why most people in Eastern society rely upon meditation and trance to reprogram the subconscious mind, and not so much on sermons and verbal discourse and motivational speeches. Those don't work. Okay, I want you to understand that. Taking in the belief system, making it part of who you are, letting it go, and then watching the magic, watching it manifest. Beliefs, ideas that become beliefs, are not easy. You see, Bruce Lee trained for years, and then it took him a number of years to come up with Jeet Kune Do. So it wasn't easy for him. You may have to train your subconscious mind, and it may take a couple of years. But at the end, it's well worth it. Can you imagine being the Bruce Lee of the magical community and every day training like Bruce Lee by saying, I attract wealth, I'm a master of the universe, I have a large bank account, and every day training in that thought process for a year or even 2 years? Do you know what would happen? It's obvious. You would be a multi-millionaire without a lot of effort. You understand? But in this society, we don't reward sages, wise men and women, shaman, people who have the ability to control their thoughts and their beliefs. We don't reward those. We don't acknowledge that power at all. And it exists. And if you can become a master of self, a master of the mind, the world will open up to your wishes. It's not about the external world. It's not about dominating things. When Western man came to Africa, all he wanted to do was to shoot the tigers and have the heads as trophies and things like that. But when African man looked at the tiger, he said, how through mental communication, subconscious communication, thought transference, can I communicate with wild animals? Can I control them? See the difference? Western man saw Africa as a place to be dominated by killing, skinning, whereas African man saw it as a way to commune with the animals, to find out their needs and wants and desires and live in harmony with them. Totally different. And when I touched on the fact that attraction is not a physical thing, it's an energy thing. You could attract people based on your energy, what you're giving off. I walked up to a group today and I was just showing my friend. They were standing around in a circle talking, and I said something to them, and they all busted out laughing. And my friend said, what did you say? I said, it's not about what I said, it's about my energy. My energy compelled them. My energy was such in a state of happiness and good feeling that it transferred over to the group, and it made them happy and it made them laugh. And I know how to do that. That's easy for me. The first law of state transference is you have to first put yourself in the state you want others to be in. That is also how you heal people. See, when they don't tell you, when early man developed, before there was verbal communication, we communicated through thoughts. They don't want to tell you that. They're rewritten history. You understand? So they don't want you to know that we use thought communication. You had to. There was no verbal communication. But something happened, and all of our great empires like Atlantis fell. And now we're here in the Dark Ages. So I hope this video clears up some things for you about magic, how it works, why it seems to be inconsistent, why some people can manifest things while others can't manifest things, and how you can manifest things more consistently in your life. Become the Bruce Lee of meditation. Become the Bruce Lee of magic. Practice every day by meditating on a belief system, whether it be you are attractive, you are rich, you have abundance, doesn't matter which one you pick. Practice meditating on it every day for as long as you can. You can never over meditate. Meditation has so many benefits, such as lowering your blood pressure, makes you calm, makes you more intuitive and more intelligent. That's why the ruling elite doesn't want you to do it. That's why the religious institutions don't want you to do it. Because if you're meditating and it increases, meditation increases your IQ. And if it increases your IQ, you're going to realize that the religions, the Western religions, are full of it. And you're going to stop following and listening to those pimp pastor ministers out there. You're going to look at your mate and say, hey, you're not as intelligent as I thought you were. Since I've been meditating, I now realize, what I thought was a Lexus is a Toyota. So you may get some surprises there, okay? A certain awakening, you know. You might buy a house and think, man, this house ain't all that. I didn't get a good deal. Now that I've been meditating, I realize I got ripped off. You may look at the woman you work with and say, you know, you're not really all that attractive, but you have a beautiful energy about you. I'm going to hook up with you. You know, who knows? Meditation awakens certain psychic centers within you, and you come to a realization of God, the universe, and all other things. Let us do a raw meditation right now, and I will give you some truisms or affirmations. Please bow your head, close your eyes. Have your palms outward like this in the receiving posture for the energies to come to you. Bow your head, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to recite the Ra, what I call the Ra mantra, which is Ha, Ha. This mantra is specifically designed to subdue the animal spirit, the animal nature. It is the heart chakra mantra. Meditate with me, please. Ha. Breathing in through your nose and out through the mouth. Ha. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Ha. Breathe on your own. Ha. 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 Take a moment now to visualize that which you desire, that which you want. Ha. Empower the visualization with emotion. Ha. Play out the visualization in your mind's eye. Ha. 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 Relaxing your body. Ha. Our Father Ra, we pay tribute to you and your daughter Ma'at, daughter of truth, justice, and righteousness. Ra, we ask for you to grant us the power, the energy, the chi force, the kundalini energy, so that we may channel it into an idea and empower it so that it becomes the belief system that we most desire. We ask that you, Ra, Father of the gods, look after us and help us and be victorious for us in granting that which we desire, because what we ask for is in alignment with your daughter, truth, justice, and righteousness. It does not violate anyone else's rights. In going and pursuing that which we want, we pursue it truthfully and justly, and we get it through righteous means, so that we may ask you again to grant us our desires based on our heartfelt belief system. Amen, Ra. Okay, so take a moment, breathe, stretch out. This is something you should be repeating often to have it seep into the subconscious mind and become part of your belief system. This is why we call it not an affirmation, but a truism, because it's the truth. It's part of your being. It's part of who you are. It's truth, meaning that an idea empowered with an emotion becomes a belief system. That's true. That's a truism. And we know that necessarily a belief system has to be true. Many in the Christian community believe in things that are not true because they don't understand the idea that though they may feel a certain way towards something, it's merely a way that they've programmed themselves. They've programmed themselves to love Jesus, to love Muhammad, to love this. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you must understand at the end of the day, I can program myself to love anything if I want to, because I know myself. I know how to program myself to the power of meditation and trance. I know that I may have conflicting belief systems, and that in order to deal with those conflicting belief systems, I have to create a new belief system that is empowered with Ra's energy, that is stronger than the legacy belief system, the old belief system. If the old belief system says I never win, then I will create a new belief system that says I'm a winner. I always win. And I will meditate upon that day in and day out until it becomes the dominant belief system. And then I will watch in the physical world how everything changes. I will see synchronicities, and I will come into abundance, wealth, and happiness. This is Qesankh Ma'akeparu, son of Ma and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Thank you for tuning in. Until my next video, Amen Ra.